Whole Central has been voting for more than 32 years. The question is, where's the development? Nothing seems to be happening. Should we continue voting for the same political parties, or we should get an independent candidate? That's the big question. People are even saying we should replace the political parties completely. And for me, I don't know. I don't know. What are your thoughts on that? Someone actually stood up, promising to liberate the youth, provide jobs, and then some other, good promises. He also said he's going to get a website that will include details about the constituency and empower the chiefs and elders to carry out their mandate. This guy is Elom Kwame Kluche, and I actually interviewed him, and this is what he had to say about politics.
Okay, I'll do the intro later. So you're welcome. You're so very welcome.
Thank you, my brother. It's been a minute.
Yes, it's been quite a while. I know you are a little busy these days, not a little, very busy, getting your message across and all that. But to kickstart everything, please tell us who you are. That's your camera. So tell us who you are.
Well, let me use this opportunity first of all to say thank you, because for me, I have been looking forward to a hole that has set up like this, podcast studios, where you can have any kind of conversation with any kind of personality you intend to profile. So, premiering here, it's to me a really big deal. I don't take it lightly at all.
That's good.
And I want to say a good evening, good morning, good afternoon to your viewers at whatever time they'll be watching this. Right. So, my name is Maulom Kwame Kluche, the independent parliamentary candidate for the Whole Central constituency. Maulom grew up in Ho. From
Ho boy.
From a small community called Hiliha. That's not far from where we are now. So and started my basic school in Mauli Primary, Mauli Junior High School, later then to St. Paul Technical School in Kokrantumi, in the Eastern region. Now the interesting thing about Kokrantumi was that I had an uncle who was at Infantipim, and the promise to me was that if I finished my BEC strong, I was going to be part of the honor roll that was going into Infantipim because he was a teacher there. But unfortunately, I did not get the slot. And that was not because my results were bad. It was because it was given to another person. So then my dad, who was an alumnus of St. Paul Technical School, quickly took me there and then got me enrolled. And I read carpentry and joinery.
Wow.
Yes. I did carpentry and joinery in St. Paul Technical. Listen, I cried the whole of first term. I know that people are not expecting me to say this because that was naturally not what I wanted to do. I was expecting to go to senior high school, read science, or read something different. Then here I am. Monday morning, I'm in an overall. I bought hammers, I bought saws, rib saws, cross-cut saws, and all of that. But eventually, I told myself that this is where this is where nature has destined me to be. And if I have to work here, or if I have to school here, then it means that I have to take proper advantage of the environment. So St. Paul Technical happened. Interestingly, I was very active in school, part of the football team, part of the music ministry as the president, and then later became the FRC president in school. And
this might do politics check.
And also interestingly, even though I was an evangelical Presbyterian student, I was the president for the Catholic Students Union. Yes, CASU. So I worked closely with I think the organizers and all of that because I always will want to take a center stage in leadership so that when things are not going well, I see to it that they can fix. Fast forward from St. Paul Technical School. Again, because it was a pure technical school, I needed now to write Wasi. So after St. Paul, I joined Kwabing Anglican Secondary Technical in Kwabing. I joined the third years to finish up in 1 year. And Kwabing was a deprived school. So it also has the first 3 best performing students given a choice to be on honor roll to work for or to go to KNUST. So again, I was expecting that I'll be a KNUST student, even though I was going to senior high school for 1 year. So I did the program for 1 year and I was the second best student.
Sweet.
And again, I did not get KNUST because
this winner system.
the system worked against me. It was given to another person. I didn't complain. Then again, my dad, who is late now, peace be to his ashes, advised that come back home. Let's apply for Ho Polytechnic. So I said, okay, fine. I didn't want to sit home as well. I came to Ho Technical University, and then I was admitted as a building technology student.
Why? You don't want to be a carpenter again?
Well, the thing about it is that if you do carpentry and joinery, you have an option of doing block laying and concreting.
Okay.
And also, I studied a little bit in general course in construction, GCC. So when I was done, I thought it wise to combine both carpentry and concreting so that I can study construction as a whole. So I came to Ho Poly and then I joined the class of 2012-2013. Again, in Ho Poly, very active in student leadership. I was the president at some point for Enactus Ho Polytechnic, and I was also the vice president, student representative council for Ho Polytechnic, and a couple other positions that I held in the Protestant Union. And then I was part of almost every Jama group on campus.
So let me take you just a step back.
Yeah.
So you found yourself high school, tertiary, and all that. You are doing more technical courses, quote unquote.
Yeah.
Okay, because these days, someone will tell you, in my case, okay, I really wanted to do visual arts, but my grade was good. Like, can you send grade 6 to do visual arts? So I wasn't allowed, parent side, school-wise, they didn't allow me to do a course I wanted to do. Okay, go read general art or some science and all that. But the courses you offer, these are courses we should be encouraging our people to learn more, not go read, memorize books and come back. No. Things that will give us something practical to do with your hands and create things from scratch. What's your take on that?
My take is I mean, we're in the same boat. First of all, the people, the most, I mean, in my opinion, the most important persons in the industry of building communities are technocrats.
Yeah.
People with hands-on training. Because for a community to have the needed development, examples I'll give you China, I'll give you Dubai, the UAE, and some other Western parts.
All of them.
In fact, even in Africa now, let's look at Botswana,
Kenya.
Let's look at Kenya, and a couple more places. The people who are driving development are not the persons
the who
are long. No, there are people who have crafts, and that is why China is today the leading country when it comes to development. So for me, we are not far from right. We must encourage technical vocational training in every institution in this country, be it a business school, be it science and math school. There must be some element of technical and vocational schools, because over here, the informal sector, for example, in Ho Central, is the biggest compared to the formal sector.
And across the whole nation.
And the reason politicians who are unable to help us develop, enjoy the informal sector is simply because they thrive on the ignorance of the people. But if we provide adequate, think about this. How can a man or woman leave home, go to Accra, Kumasi, or Sunyani to go and do a menial job? Think about the scenario. You are not leaving to Accra to sit at the GVC Tower. You've not been offered any appointment at the American Embassy.
Yeah.
But you are living here simply to go and join a construction firm somewhere and be a bricklayer.
It doesn't make
or be a
sense.
carpenter. And it does not make
Doesn't make sense.
any sense.
Doesn't make sense.
What happened to creating such opportunities in Ho or in Ho Central so that our artisans can actually work and the money stays within the constituency? Because in Accra, this man needs to feed, this man needs to sleep, and if you see their conditions,
God, life in Accra, I just hate Accra.
It-
Don't quote me on it, I just hate
Yeah.
Accra a little tiny bit.
it's if we come from Ho Central, our focus should be that we continue to create enabling environment for us.
Fuelum,
Yeah.
of all the things you can do with your background in education, with your influence, and then the amount of energy you are expending on, in what you are doing, campaigning to be, to represent the constituency. Of all the things you can do, why do you want to represent us? Why do you want to represent the constituency in Parliament?
Okay. There are a couple of reasons. It's not just one.
Okay.
The first one spans from the non-performance of the members of parliament from Ho Central.
You need to break that down. Like,
All right.
let us understand what you mean by that.
So, in my opinion, and in fact, in the opinions of many people that I have sampled, today, if I mentioned the Honorable Kofi Atto, and I ask you to associate one project with Honorable Kofi Atto, can you give me anything off your head? Great. When I go on and I say, give me one thing you can associate Honorable Benjamin Kodo with.
So I think I saw some signboard be with some things. I don't even know. I truly don't know.
Exactly.
I truly don't know.
I can go on and on. Since the Fourth Republic, when Ho Central decided and started voting for the members of parliament on the NDC side, especially because this is an NDC dominated zone, we have not seen any significant surge in development. Because do not forget that when we vote, what it means is we have a contract with a political party, and our part of the contract is to give them votes that put them in government. On the side of the political party, your job is to make sure that the needed developments hit the citizens that have given you votes.
So hold on. If I'm getting you now, what you're telling us is that if you belong to a political party and then the party basically puts you in office, your allegiance is to the party first before your people.
Well,
Is that it?
No. What I am saying is the opposite of it.
Okay.
If the people of Host, first of all, if you put all the NDC executives in the constituency together, they are probably about a very small fraction of the total population in Host Central that didn't vote.
Yes.
So, who then are the most important people? The constituents of Host Central. So, if they give you the nod by voting year in and out massively for your political party, what it means is that year in and out, development of the constituency must be your sole goal.
But that is not the case.
That is not
what we are seeing.
I believe you have been moving around. I don't want to be the only person that says that it isn't or it is the case. But truth is that if you match the level of loyalty that Ho Central has given to the NDC over the long period, 32 years. Yes, the development we are seeing today is seriously under par. You cannot match the development to the level of loyalty we have provided to them after 32 years. And this is why I stood as an independent candidate. Because enough is enough. Time for the people who really feel the pain of the constituency, where they were born and where they come from, to actually get into government and orchestrate the needed change that the constituency needs. But we will not do it through the party line, because if we do that, we are going back to the same old story where you vote for an NDC MP and Amidu Jikwea, when Jidudu comes,
What next?
what next? What is your plan? What do you have for the people? In the first 2 years, what are your short-term goals? What are your medium-term goals? What are the long-term goals? In 10 years, where do we want to see our constituency? Why don't we drive a constituency development agenda that covers the entire 5 zones of the constituency?
Okay. Straight in from your own words. What is your agenda? What are your plans? Short term, next 2 years, next 5 years, 10 years, where do we want to see ourselves?
First of all, I am very big on visibility. And I am glad I get to have this conversation with you, because you are one person that has championed tourism in the constituency. If you go on Google today and you type Ho Central, you will not see anything that encourages you. Meanwhile, when you go to very serious places, immediately you type in the name of a country or a constituency. It gives you a proper website. One that tells you how many people are in Ho Central, how big Ho Central is, how many schools are here, how many hospitals, how many women, how many men, what is the quality of soil we have, what does it produce in abundance. If you have this level of data, it makes investment into the constituency easy for people who are sitting in China. Because then the man has every information he needs before he gets on or jumps on a flight to come and invest. But as it stands, Ho Central is not investment ready. And that is why agenda number 1 is to be able to put back the constituency on the map, make it visible. Let people know that we have a waterfall in Klepe that needs redevelopment. Let people know that the Taviefe range can also get maybe a canopy walk, or can get something completely different that spans from one mountain to the other, maybe a cable, a taxi, whatever you people call it. Again, let people know that when you go to Hojo has one of the most arable lands for investment, and that was why Caltech did not come to Ho, only because the place was beautiful. They came because they knew that if they invested into agriculture in Ho Central and produced starch and ethanol at the same time, we'll make a lot of money. Today, Ghana imports about 16 million liters of ethanol every year. Yes. But again, I stand to be corrected, but the end product of the ethanol or starch, which comes from cassava, can equally be processed into fertilizer. So it makes it cheaper for our own people to buy. It is Ho Central now deserves a befitting factory. But how we approach it will be different. The end user of the product may not necessarily have to be seated in Ho Central or be the constituent. But our ability to connect our farms with industries outside of Ho and even outside of Ghana will be our focus. But we can only do that when we put the constituency back on the map and on the internet where everything in the world happens today, and make it visible for other people to want to invest in it. That is going to be where we will start from.
So agenda number 1 is putting Ho Central on the map.
Yes.
let the world see what we have,
Exactly.
potential investment opportunities, and then why they should come in. Okay.
Exactly.
How do you intend to do that? Start a project.
Again, engage people like you that have crisscrossed the constituency. Have you provide us with professional data, and we process the data into, at least first of all, building a proper active website. Active website.
I like that, a proper website.
Yes.
Okay.
Proper, where we invest in the data that is there. The back end is managed very well. It's up to date. The information, they are accurate, so that people who intend to invest can use that as their start point. So, and a website is basics. But apart from that, we need to also invest in extra data collection. Our population. I mean, we work with the Ghana Statistical Service and all those people. But again, our constituency can do its own investigations in terms of data collection. As we move around, that's what we are doing. So again, we work with the relevant stakeholders. But most importantly, our biggest focus is on the chiefs and the queens.
Is that agenda number 2?
Yes, agenda number 2. Agenda number 2 is to make sure that we resource every make sure that all the traditional authorities within our catchment area are resourced to the extent that they can run an administrative office. Where when you get to Liha today, you can walk into the chief's office. In his absence, there has to be a secretary or a PA who can provide us with relevant data on Liha, the history of Liha, the people of Liha, their population, what they stand for, and what they intend or where they intend to carry their constituency. Their community too. So basically, we focus on the chiefs. And you don't forget, chiefs are development agents. Their core mandate is to make sure that their places of abode and their citizens are living a comfortable life. So if there is an MP that wants to help chiefs to do or help them do their job, I believe that they all will veer towards that person. So first thing, give us visibility. Second thing, empower our chiefs again to have that authority they used to have before, and run administrative offices so that data collection in all the localities within Ho Central is at a central point.
That will make a lot of sense, because we are losing a lot of our history, a lot of our culture, and it's sad. It's sad because, for all you know, even our elders, those authority now, God forbid they pass out now. I don't know anything about anything.
We were at Shia today. We met the paramount chief of Shia and his people, and in the palace, I shared that video with you. And I would love that you can go and do a story.
I have several stories on Shia.
Great.
Their palace is actually over water like this, reservoir under the.
So you see these things I'm talking about, they are not new to you because you're on the field. How can we not let other people see this? That is one of the most beautiful palaces I have seen.
I'm telling you.
I think 17.
Very old. I'll
old.
get the data and put it up.
Yes,
it's very
I
old.
saw it today. Just escaped.
Very old. Yes,
very old. But if you get into it, you will see the setup speaks well of an ancient palace, which history must be protected. People should be able to travel and come and pay good money to just want to sit down and look at the history of Shan and the fact that they form a border with Togo.
Shan is almost a self-sustaining town. They are close to producing their own electricity.
Yes.
They are producing majority of the water they consume. Like Shan is a different place.
Interestingly, the plan or the idea I discussed with the people of Shan is, listen, how does it make sense for people to travel all the way from Accra, Kumasi, come and buy from Togo, okay, and take it back to Accra and Kumasi, and we leave home
To Accra. Oh God, and bring it back. Oh wow. That is
How
weird.
are you? Oh, eleke.
That is weird. That is strange.
So the idea is that when given the opportunity, whether now or in the future, let's build one of the biggest markets on the Shan border, where we have an agreement with the business community in Togo, where everybody buys from, so that we have one of the biggest markets that is supplying goods and services to everybody who is traveling from Accra. So what it simply means is that if you go to Togo and you want to buy, they tell you that no, you have to come to Ghana and buy, because now there is a franchise. Somebody owns the sole right to sell to you, and we cannot sell behind that person.
Sweet.
That way, imagine the amount of jobs that will be created on the Shan belt and how it will boost economic activities. Trust me, you will now have hotels springing up in Shan. You will have
that to open up the whole place.
You will have nightlife in Shan, because traders will come. They have to buy. They can travel the same day. In fact, we'll have similar to a whole station, a Shan station that moves from there and goes to Accra and Kumasi directly. That is directly benefiting and expanding the economic situations of the people in Shan.
I think, according to their history, they had that set up before. They had one of the biggest markets. Okay.
Which is completely lost.
Gone.
And so, if you follow the campaign for some time, and you see that our issues are community based.
Yes.
We are not against any political party. We do not stand against any political party's flag bearer. We are very concerned about who is in charge of Ho Central in Parliament. How feasible are his ideas? Is he even telling us anything in terms of ideas? But as youth, we are about 73% of the total population in Ho Central. And the need for us to actually effect change, I believe, is now, because the future is now.
In fact, you are hitting some solid points. And what's agenda number 3?
Well, agenda number 3, don't forget that all these things are based on just 3 thematic areas. Because after a good survey, we noticed that 3 things is what Ho Central needs. 1 is leadership. 2nd is representation. 3rd is sustainable development. If we have a leader who, excuse my language, have the balls,
yes,
have the balls to get out there and sell the constituency, people will be interested to buy. Or market the constituency, people will be interested to invest. And if you have a leader who can work closely with any other person from the political divide,
okay,
because even if their party is in power or not, they still
should be able to function.
We should be able to function. Then that leader is actually focusing on community development. Again, a leader who will focus more on the people than his or her political party. Then we know that the people's mandate is being put into work. So leadership is one of the key things that we have lacked for a very, very, very long time. A strong leader who is able to stand and communicate and keep his people in the loop. 2nd is representation, like I said.
Yeah.
For far too long, we have been represented only by a section of the constituency who are party people. So the NDC goes to their primaries, They give the opportunity to somebody who has been loyal to the political party for a long period of time. They say he has paid his dues. But in actual fact, there are people who are more competent in delivering the needed development that Ho Central must have. Those people are jammed even in the party. And the opportunity is given to people who have served the party over a period of time. And that does not necessarily translate into development for our people. And that is a big problem. So we are providing representation for everybody. Whether you are MPP, you are NDC, you are New Force, you are PPP, you are from Shia, you are from Nive, you are from Atikwi, you are from Clave, you are from Huen,
From Atikoko,
Ave, wherever you come from. Wherever you come from, we must provide representation for you in Parliament. Because the parliamentarian is not a parliamentarian when he is not speaking on behalf of his people. Many a times, okay, they wanted to vote for e-levy. Did our MP come back to consult the communities to find out where we want to vote? In actual fact, that is what must happen. You are only our mouthpiece, so you cannot think on behalf of the community. You have to come to the community for them to tell you what must be done. That is how we intend to represent our people. If we need to vote on a serious issue in Parliament, we consult the people. So when I am voting, nobody comes tomorrow and say that Maulom voted against our wish. But it will be the collective decision of the entire constituency. So representation is very, very key. And if that's not put in place this year, then Ho Central is ready to go back again another 10 years. Finally, on the third part.
No, before the third part comes, what you just said sparked a lot of bells. A lot of bells are ringing in my head. So what I hear in the news, Joy Prime or TV3 or whoever, I hear something, I listen to something in the news and they're telling me Parliament is about to do this or what. Yeah. You are telling me now that if you are representing us over there, you come back to the community, then you listen to us, go back there and tell them, look, all that you are saying, I don't care where you're coming from, but my people are saying this. This is what my people want. That's what they're telling us.
That is representation. What you are there to do is to speak the mind of the people who sent you there. And not to represent them with your mind. Where there is need for you to advise on a special area of expertise, you can advise the community that, in my opinion, I think we should lean towards this side. But even that, there are also people who are experts in that area in the community that will add their layer of advice on top of it. So at the end of the day, you notice that you are living for the people, not any political party or yourself. That's why a part of our project or our manifesto speaks more on periodic community engagements. Every quarter, we must meet the people from the communities, understand and know where they stand on the issues that are happening in government. And we must build consensus on a development agenda as a constituency. So whoever you are as an MP, when you come, it is your duty to follow that agenda. If it gets to a point where we see that the world has moved so far away and we need to review the agenda, whoever is MP must review it. And the will of the people must continue to move forward.
No, the conversation is getting interesting.
Yeah.
Because, so if your community tells you something, this is what we want. What if it actually works? What it means is this.
Yeah.
You get to Parliament and then your political party, quote unquote, even tells you go and vote like this. You are telling them that no, my people, the people I represent, want something else, not what the party wants. Because I know these voting things, it goes always the political side, like the party side, not what the people are supposed to do.
Let me help you. The political parties operate what we call the whip system. And that is why there is a minority chief whip, and there is a majority chief whip.
I beg, I don't know book plenty.
All right, I'll break it down. What it means is that in your setup today, if there is a majority chief whip and there is supposed to be a vote, what they do is that they whip everybody in your organization to vote for a specific issue like e-levy, whether it's bad or it's good. So once you belong to the political party, you do not have the right to vote outside of what your people say.
And that is our problem in Ghana.
And that has been the biggest problem.
Oh.
And this is why you notice that the political parties, they fight to get the numbers in parliament, not to work with it, but to take political decisions that favor the political party.
Oh gosh.
So whether the candidate on the ticket of the NDC in Whole Central can perform or not, they believe that they only need him to get there so that when they need to vote, they can whip him to vote in their favor. That is all the people, the politicians have toyed with us. In fact, the people who are focused on making the right decisions end up not getting it. Why do you think that today in Parliament there are 4 people who want to now become independent candidates? Their people are not getting the needed development, and they believe that the political parties are not helping them enough. So they must come out of that bandage and be able to stand on their own, speak freely, and speak the truth, and also be able to represent their people. So Whole Central now stands the chance to send me, who is an independent candidate, into
no loyalty to anybody.
No loyalty to anybody. But loyalty to only the people who send.
Because you can know your house, you are just you understand that Charlie, the guy is not happy.
In this case, the nele mota nele gogola afevi amefishiwa yowe aw evi ekelele yala mejenia. Then we will look at another way to approach it. So representation is very key. We have lost that. We've not had that before. In fact, I think one person who used to do that was Kofi Atto. If I remember vividly. Peace be to my dad's ashes. They were good friends. Kofi Atto, he used to come in, meet the communities, meet the chiefs, talk to them on what is happening. It is your duty as a parliamentarian to brief your people on what is happening in parliament.
Yeah.
They need to know. Because if they don't know, then they don't know how governance is. And that is why we need to select a candidate that can provide a proper representation for all of us. If we don't have that, then we cannot build. Then we cannot grow. Else it will just be the ideologies of a political party situated in either Asylum Down or Adabraka. Who will first of all think about where next to get the most votes and send a developmental project there. But if we have an independent candidate who is for the people, his focus is my people, my people, my people, and not his pocket or his party. Yeah.
Okay, so your third agenda, your third point.
Right. So my third point is on sustainable development.
Coffee never better here. Come here. I almost forgot about you. The conversation was getting so interesting.
So my third point is on sustainable development. Now, what can we do to make sure that we provide or we create an environment that gives room to, number one, artisans to have jobs all year round? What can we do to provide a platform for creatives to be able to explore the creative market all year round? Before I move on, if you look at this year's Yam Festival, the influx of people outside of Ho was huge. Because The creatives like yourself decided to power the Yam Festival online. So there was a huge euphoria that was created around the festival. First time, a lot of us got to see really fast cars.
First time.
Yes. Come to home.
Yeah.
Come, and they came and they spent money here.
Yeah.
That means that there is local direct investment, not foreign direct investment, local direct investment from Accra to here, from Sugan Kofe to Ho, from Takrady, Kumasi, Sonyani to Ho. So what it means simply is that there must be that enabling environment created for creatives to consistently put the constituency on the map on the internet, and that must be sustainable.
How is that even possible?
The possibility of it is that other countries are doing it. We have story sites, so many story sites. If there are 10 creators that are doing different stories on, there are travel bloggers, there are travel vloggers. We cannot run out of places to travel to in the Volta region or in Ho Central. If you take, because you are a worker, if you take it even one every month, you have somewhere to go all year round. So that means that your content is generating followership, and your followership on the internet is generating some amount of cash for you. Because once you build the numbers, people from outside will also follow you, and then your social media engagement can now translate into cash. That is sustainable for God knows how long, because we will continue to build on these sites. So that every time you have something new or a new feature to talk about. Again, how do we build sustainability when it comes to agriculture? Agriculture never dies. There are new and improved forms of technology every single day. And Ho Central now needs to embrace agriculture and become the food basket of the entire region or even Ghana. Very possible.
You know something funny? In the Yam Festival.
Yeah.
Some part of the comments on one of my videos. They are celebrating the Yam Festival, but there are no yam farms.
Yeah. The person has a valid point. He has a valid point. If there is any community that cannot feed its people from its own farm, it is heading for doom. Whatever we eat in Ho Central, we must find somebody that is cultivating it. That is basic. America is one of the biggest countries that thrive on agriculture. Hugely. So, and they don't even have good land that we have.
Yes.
But they are researching and improving technology every day. Presently, America is one of the biggest producers of corn. What is stopping us in Ho Central in doing this? So again, I intend to invest heavily in the agricultural sector, where we own the entire supply chain. We own crop production, we own our own cultivation, harvesting, packaging, sales, marketing, and even having ready buyers for our farm produce, so that we can eliminate post-harvest losses. And this we will do by working with people who are already in the industry. One of my very good friends, Aloysius Ata, the CEO of Farmer Line, is one person I've continuously engaged on this topic. They are doing marvelously well in the sub-Saharan Africa zone. They have an office, I think, in Cote d'Ivoire, in Ghana, in Abidjan, and some other places. Doing extremely well for the farmers on that side. In Ghana, they are in the north, I think in the eastern region, and some other parts. So what we need to do is to holistically look at what will it take to have one of the biggest and the most functional agricultural sector set up in Ho Central. If there is any government that would want to invest here heavily, it will depend on what we are adding to Ghana's economy as a region and as a constituency. Then, when government is thinking about pushing funds to the Volta region, they know that they have become the food basket for the country. There, it opens up opportunity for all of us. And this will not only be from government side, but it will be from private sector as well. Because Ho is peaceful, Ho Central has arable land, and Ho Central can be home to one of the biggest farms or some of the biggest farms in the world. And this is something we want to do. So sustainable development, agriculture takes center stage as one of the biggest industries ever that we can invest into. And my focus is on building one of the biggest ethanol production factories in the whole of Ghana. I want Ho Central to be producing at least 20 to 30, at least in our first 4 years in office. We want to be producing, if not 10 to 20% of Ghana's ethanol that it imports. In the next term, in the next 4 years, so in the next 10 years, we want to work so hard to start producing at least 40% of Ghana's ethanol. Maybe probably bigger than what the companies now are even doing. But we must be willing to invest in it. 40, 50, $100 million. Speak to the people who matter. Write the projects that matter. Do the needs assessment. Talk to the communities. Have an agreement that works for both the constituency, the community, and also the companies that will bring in to do the investments. These are the things we are looking at in terms of sustainable development. And I can tell you that if that happens, Ho Central story will be completely different from every other constituency.
On agriculture again, Volta region has something really funny I don't understand.
Yeah.
I have several stories I want to post, even do on it. You see, places, look, no one will even come and beat me, so I'll mention places.
Yeah.
Places that have good lands, the Adaklus, the Avatime, the Yakmas areas, those areas that have very good land. They don't do agriculture. They don't take agriculture seriously. Saudi Volta, where they have sand, a Kewo sand.
Yeah.
They need to drill boreholes. They need to fertilize the land every day. They put in a lot of work, and they are taking agriculture very, very seriously over there. How can we be importing tomatoes and vegetables from a care area to places that are good? I don't understand.
I think, you see, the issue here is that we feel too entitled. We believe that there must be a government that comes in and change our fortunes. And all our hope has been placed on the NDC to do that over the period. And like I said before, we need now a leader, someone that understands that we have to be able to move the constituency from one step to the next step. If after 4 years we do an assessment of the performance of an MP and it is not satisfactory, we have to vote him out.
If only we will do that. Because,
well,
Charlie,
I believe we need to get there. Because if we cannot get there, then the constituency and the region does not have a future it can depend on. Then it means that for our children, they will have to also live in the same condition we are living in today, if not worse.
To just be worse.
If not worse. Let me tell you something. I have a friend who lives in America, who is running a business of exporting shito from here. Presently, yes, shito. Presently, she has a contract to supply 8,000 packs of shito every week to a client.
Shito?
Yes.
Shito, you mean,
yes. 8,000 packs every week. And
quite definite. Where?
America, the UK, in fact, even Ghana.
Shito.
Yes.
I mean, somebody go up, play back over the case separate, grab your cash it all.
Yes. So, where I am driving you to is value addition. Yes, we have the product, we have the content, we have the know-how, but how do we add value to the things we are producing? Look at coffee, for example. Javi Tutu is here, and we also have Kawamoka. Kawamoka every year will continue to repackage because it has to stay relevant when it comes to value.
And the packaging is sweet.
Exactly.
This is sweet.
You know, so simply put, these people have contacted me, knowing very well that Whole Central has lands that can produce pepper in abundance for them to buy. Now, yes, they are willing to invest in the production. All we need to do is to get lands and get people who can work hard so that foods can be on their table as well as the investors' table. We've been having conversations, and presently we started something from Adaku, a 250-acre land where we are only going to do pepper all through, bring in a machine that dries the pepper for a short period, and then the cycle continues. We must be smart. When there is demand for pepper throughout the constituency, at some point, at least we should have not less than 30 to 40% of farmers doing the same thing because it's in demand. Then, when it is getting out of demand, we will also find another commodity that they can invest into. So we support them.
Poultry is one serious thing we don't take seriously.
Yes, majority of the eggs we buy are coming from outside of home. Majority of them. And even Ghana itself is importing a lot of eggs.
And chicken.
So, for me, again on that Nive belt, Nive Shia belt, you can look at one of the biggest cattle farms where we are doing proper animal husbandry. We are investing into proper technology that is taking care of animals that can feed the Volta region and even feed Ghana. So agriculture is a huge topic, and we want to let anybody who will be watching this video know that Maulom will invest heavily into agriculture. We'll speak to the relevant stakeholders. We'll speak to CSOs. We'll speak to the Ministry of Agri. We'll speak to private individuals. We'll speak to corporate institutions. And we'll make sure that we have a solid plan going into the agricultural sector. And Whole Central story will be different if we invest in agriculture properly. I think that is where our fortunes lie. Look at the fish farming industry, for example. Huge potential.
We have the largest lake.
Yes.
Where? In, God.
Huge potential. Let me just refer to Nana Kwame Bediaku's assessment of the Volta region. He tells us that we are sitting on about $130 billion worth of cash.
130 billion.
Yes, that is untapped. And I want to believe in, because when I was in Liberia, the UN described Liberia's fishery or fishing industry as the gold mine of Africa in one of their reports.
Liberia.
Yes.
But them not get water lakes either. So how can they say that?
You know Liberia has the longest coastal belt in Africa and the highest rainforest in Africa. My time in Liberia, I knew about 17 European Union vessels that were fishing tuna on Liberian waters and exporting on Liberian waters, because Liberia does not have a fishing harbor that can process and export as made in Liberia.
Oh, Africa.
Yes. So there are huge potentials. Even the government is borrowing money to develop the country, but is failing woefully to develop the country. You must vote them out. If any MP is unable to bring you development that is needed, you must vote them out. We must not run politics of sympathy.
Yeah.
It must be politics of issues and business. One that provides an opportunity for young people to thrive, for market women to sell their goods, for artisans to get the necessary jobs so that they can stay relevant and can continue to have businesses every day. Where we can have good drinking water. I don't want to touch on the issue of water in Brazil because if I start, it will not finish. Yes, it will not finish.
I've not seen water in days.
And maybe you are saying days. People have not seen water in 4 years, 8 years.
Oh.
Yes, today we're in Clave, and the situation there is not different. So, my brother, if you ask me, where must we start from? I'll tell you that from the foundation. Because we do not have one solid foundation on which we can build. And that is why there has to be change. And that is why there has to be a leader who is willing to invest his energy in developing the place and making sure that his agenda is always about the people. And that is on sustainable development. And I can include more. The issue of health is there.
Yeah, so two more things.
Yeah.
What's your take on health? We touch on the tourism. I'll be back to tourism because tourism is
it's
big.
big.
It's double V, you know what I'm saying? So we'll come back to the issue of the oxygen city where, cleanness of food and everything. We'll discuss that.
We can do something really big with the oxygen city status. And I don't know how come this has not even blown over already.
Yeah.
In my opinion, every year, whole Central has to be on the year of return calendar.
Oh.
Everybody traveling to Ghana must come and see the oxygen city. And we will make sure that happens. Listen, whether in power or not, that must happen. But there will be more weight added to it working with the people in diaspora. Sure. If they give me the nod to be in parliament. So yes, that's just, we'll come back to tourism like you said. My take on health. Let me tell you, in 21st century, I am of the opinion that number one, healthcare must be accessible. Healthcare must be affordable. Healthcare must be quality.
Okay.
These three things we can compromise on. Accessibility. We have a constituency that is scattered.
That is true. That is true.
And we have a central hospital. The regional hospital is as of today the biggest facility that serves the 180,000 people of Ho Central.
It's one of the reasons I'm in Ho.
Yes.
To be close to health. Hey, I should be able to run somewhere and save my life, my family's life.
Now, look at somebody who is living all the way in maybe Hojogan or Hojove or Hojokope. In the night, there is a serious emergency.
I don't even want to be imagining this.
Yes, with pregnancy. And the road from Hojokope to Hojogan is maybe 20 minutes drive on a rough road. Before you hit the main road to come towards Takla, Bengwe, before you come to Takla.
We have a studio in Bengwe.
Yeah. Oh.
Huge.
Wow.
About 5 times this.
Wow.
Huge. But because of the road, we can go.
Great.
All wired. Massive studio. A lot of money went in there, but we can use it.
How will you use it? The area is not ready for that level of investment. So if we want to be serious people, what we must do is make sure that health care, I talked about accessibility. How close are you to a health facility in terms of emergency? That is a top priority. We can't compromise.
Not negotiable.
It's not negotiable. It's not negotiable at all. Yeah. You want leaders, you must provide solutions for these things. So we have taken it upon ourselves that when given the opportunity for the Novisi belt, the Nodu area, we will have to build a hospital there for those people. What it means is that anybody who is in Tanibe, Tokokwe, Nive, Chien, Ave, Lume, Clave, Rouen, Atikwi, and its environs must or will have access to a hospital closer to them and having very good road networks so that they can get there and access healthcare. And it must be what? Affordable. This is why that same area needs some level of investment so that the people will have cash. When they farm, they will have cash.
They have so much land.
So that when they go to the hospitals, they can pay for the service they want. And it has to be quality. So in terms of health, again, that hospital must happen there. And I believe that after 32 years, if all the MPs that have passed through Parliament for us, under the same umbrella, have even made a concerted effort, somebody starts the foundation, another person comes and puts one story, another person comes and buys the wood for the roofing. After 32 years, by now that zone should have one good hospital.
Guys, that number even scares me. 32 freaking years.
Yes, 32. And that's not just the Nordu zone. Look at Sokodi Akofu. It's a big catchment area. Look at Mache. Look at Klefe. Look at Ziavi. Look at, okay, you can connect Lume again on that side. That's a huge area again. Even if it is not a fully fledged hospital, it has to be a medical facility that can take care of very basic ailments. And I'm not talking about CHIPS compounds. No.
Those things.
CHIPS compounds are very limited to very simple things. They cannot do much. And their operations are, in fact, the community dwellers have to contribute money and even facilitate the operations of these CHIPS compounds. So there has to be a plan. Today, let me tell you, government is not the one that is running Trafalgar. The board is running Trafalgar from internally generated funds. And so every job that has to be done at Trafalgar today, they either need to look for somebody that will partner to build an extension. I understand that presently they have a deal in place to build some extra beds, spaces for our patients. Because today, the emergency ward has become a chaos. There are no beds.
Pray you don't get there.
There are too many emergency
Pray you don't get there.
People have to sleep outside. And the people who even bring others to the hospital are my problem.
Don't talk about it.
They go back home even more sick than the people who they brought there.
Oh God.
So again, have we been able to get the needed development that our political leaders are supposed to provide for us? The answer is no. And that is why in this year's election, I believe that these are the issues I want to work with when I go to Parliament. And while I am there, my focus is on the people. If Parliament will put you on a committee that takes you completely away from serving your people, so you have to, at a point, look at your people, not take that, take a backbench, work hard enough, make sure that you can transform the constituency in your own way before you take up any other thing that might be giving you sitting allowances that are not reflecting in our everyday lives.
You see, the way you are handling, the way you are looking at issues are very interesting. Why am I saying this? You see, for the elderly, they think in a certain way. You know, their mind is somewhere. Our mind is also down here somewhere. Some will say, "Oh, that small boy, don't mind him. He doesn't have any experience." Like you said, I've been following the the proceedings in and around all the places. Some of the things that come like, Charlie, hey, me small boy, what did they go do? What? No. But with these interactions and all that, tell us why a younger, parliamentarian will work best for us. Why?
I mean, first of all, young people like good things because presently we understand where the world is going. A younger person knows that he is way better off having his constituency run on UV cars yes, than still sticking to fossil fuel. We believe that if we eliminated all the kekes on the street and introduced UV cars, we start growing. Now the world wants to have a conversation with Host Central because they are investing in clean energy. That is where the world wants to go.
I see.
Again, a young person believes that his fellow young man is not lazy, but the system has been created to suppress the young. And so when he gets the opportunity, his first job is to liberate all his people and make sure that they have, listen, imagine that we have over 20,000 millionaires from home. Do you know what that means? The economy? Yes. I'm a work for Doawa. I'm a yoke ole jibe ne yochi adofimila. They will have people to look up to. And in that vein, akbobe adodo he nueto anomiafite. And this is what we want.
One cannot do convoy.
No. If we say 1,000 cars, then
the convoy goes sweet.
Then hello, we want to put our constituency on the map again with Miafe events. Young people take up the role.
What are the three solid things? Foundations that you want everyone to keep in mind when they are heading to the polls?
I spoke about them earlier, but I just have to reiterate on them. Yes. We've campaigned throughout the period on three things. The first thing is leadership. Leadership is key in every setting. See, in our own homes, we are leaders. You are a father, you are the owner of a business, and you are a leader. If you cannot provide a roadmap, a vision for the people you lead, then it means that they are following blindly.
Okay.
If you cannot have a clearly defined agenda for the people you lead, then it means that they are following blindly and we will end up nowhere. And this is what we have dealt with for so many years. We do not know what the plans of the NDC MPs are outside of what the president, the political party has. How do you narrow it down to the people of Host Central? Because we are recording in the evening. By now, when you get on the streets of Ho, it is empty.
Yeah.
So what are we doing from morning to 5? How does it give us the benefits that is needed for our growth? So providing leadership that is fearless, leadership that will account properly to the people, leadership that will set the base for clear communication to the people, and leadership that will provide the bond that Host Central needs to break from, since we have antagonized or divided the constituency with NDC, MPP factions. A leader that will unite. And that is why leadership or stewardship is a key factor for the Kluche team. And what we seek to do with that is provide all these bases and forms of leadership so that our people can have confidence in political offices, so that our people can have or build confidence again in the leader they elect to go to parliament for them. When you are there, they know that you are there to speak on behalf of them and not to represent a political party. So leadership is key. The second thing, again, I spoke about representation into details. But what I need to quickly add is that if we are not being represented by people who care more about the growth of the constituency, then we are only going to be giving opportunities to political party stalwarts to raise funds to continue to support their political parties. And this is why we need, under my leadership, we will have an MP's project office. Where any MP after me comes in will see a blueprint of what we wanted to do or what we were doing before we left office. For me, if I have the opportunity, I want to run first, second term, I'm done. 8 years, give way to another person whose ideas are fresher. Let them build on what you started, but you have to have a foundation that is strong enough to let them build. So representation is key, and that is why we must have the MP's project office. Somebody from Shan or Atikwi should leave there, come to the MP's office, even in his absence, have staff that can actually attend to their needs and not having to go to a political party's office where they are very inactive for 4 years, but very active for 4 months because they are going into elections. That doesn't help us. So representation is key, and these are some of the things we will do to make sure that everybody is represented. An office that you can walk in anytime within working hours to get information. This is where we will know how to evenly distribute resource for the constituency, and to even help students who are brilliant but needy, and not just selected few who are singing and touting party slogans. I want to state it categorically that in this year, if you go out to vote in whole central and you vote for only party slogans, Eyezu, Eyeza, or Ishi, Rado, Rado, if you vote that way, you are taking us back another 10 years. You must vote for a leader, somebody who is brave, somebody who knows and understands what development is about, somebody who knows that a vote means development, nothing else. Not party loyalty, but development. That is very key. Final thing I want to speak about is the need for change. There is no sound community in the world that does not embrace very serious competitions, healthy competitions. If let me kafana away. When this video drops, in the next 2 or 3 months, you are going to have other podcast studios springing up. Yes. It is just like when some people started doing the short video reels. I started seeing them with Bone with the update, started seeing them with you. Before I know, there are so many people who are investing in it. Healthy competition. So it puts pressure on your back to continue to learn and upgrade. Else, you'll be lost. So competition is good. And that is why whole Central cannot continue to vote for NDC MPs alone. If it is about development, then it has to go, or we have to now vote for another brain who we can give another 4 years, actually measure his work to the things he has said he can do. And if after the 4 years, we have an assessment, and his work actually can be compared to or has a good bearing with the number of votes that we have given him, then it means that we have been delivered.
Yeah.
So we can give him another chance. But if the work he does is in no way connected to what he promised us to do, our terms are the most important things or the most powerful tools. So we take them out. So there is need for change. And just as there is need for change, there is a serious need for development. And if our development is under par, we can blame it on the NDC MPs, because they are the only people who have tried it. They are the only people who have been given the opportunity. And if they have not been able to live up to it, then we must change them. For me, I believe in change. And that is why even this year, there is a reason for us to vote for change. A political party has come to serve for 8 years. If we have the chance, we give it to another person so that he can also bring in fresh ideas. Sometimes you lack ideas just because you have been in the same space for a long time. Get out. For me, I would love that Whole Central gives me the opportunity. And when they do, they can compare my jobs or my work to the other people who have already been to that office. It is only then you can judge a man if you've not given him an opportunity. Yes. And with introductions, I believe that I also have to add that after Whole Technical University, I worked with IPMC shortly, and then I was moved to their Liberia office.
Really?
Yes. I was
now my product of IPMC.
Oh yeah, great. Yeah, I was at the head office at Adabraka. I worked with Microsoft sales department for I think 2 years. So I was a sales lead for Microsoft Ghana. Yes. Yes.
You know, I'm okay. we are on you, so let me leave that one.
No, I like to hear it. And I still have a very good relationship with IPMC, the CEO, Mr. Amadip, the general manager, Sanam Hari. And when I moved to Liberia, IPMC was the solutions partner that was working with the Central Bank of Liberia to implement its national electronic payment switch. We had our technology partners being TPS, Middle East, who had the Irish switch as their core product. IPMC was the technology partner that was providing the hardware and also the project management aspect. So I was the project manager from 2015 to about 2019 in Liberia. So gone were the days when you did a transaction in Liberia on the ATM, even if you did a transaction for $10, you were charged as heavy as sometimes $6 or $7.
Wow.
But presently, people are doing transactions locally. Central Bank is now the person who is doing settlements and paying the local banks. It is not routing to Zurich, it's not routing to Amsterdam, it's not routing to America or anywhere else in the world. It's at the Central Bank of Liberia. That's a big project that was sponsored by the World Bank.
Nice.
And I was in charge of the implementation. And I would say that I had a very good relationship with the former president of Liberia, President George Weah, because I worked with his government. And I worked with the former president before him, that was Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, who we all call the political Ronaldo. Very smart woman who knows how to put the interest of his people first and always work for the betterment of Liberia. And I think he was an outstanding president. And again in Liberia, after a short period, I established my own business. I got into lumbering. Every weekend I went into the forest, and then I had a license to operate in a community forest.
The guy still be carpenter.
Yeah.
I tell you.
So I've not left the field actually.
Nice.
Yes, we still have, that is my functioning job. We still have people who are working in the forest with We are licensed.
Yeah.
So we log, we do lumbering as well. And I met lots of Ghanaians on the field while in Liberia and just in search of greener pastures. And you will be surprised the kind of jobs they do to survive. So I just want to finally add that a vote for Maolom Kluche means a breath of fresh air for the constituency. We've been suffocated for too long.
No, take that again. And that's your camera. Watch your camera and talk to your people. Like,
Yes.
talk to them.
A vote for Maolom Kluche is a breath of fresh air for whole central constituency. We have been suffocated for quite too long, for far too long. And we just need people with brand new ideas that work for the constituency and not the political parties. And this year, I am confident that whole central will make a decision that will shock the whole world. Everybody is expecting that the NDC MPs again will be voted to parliament. But in this year, we should be expecting change to come as a surprise. But even if it doesn't happen this year, I believe strongly that we are getting closer to where people are now voting on issues and not political party signs anymore. And this is where we must take our constituencies to. If you have the opportunity to vote on the 7th of December, which I believe you will do, make sure that you go out and you vote peacefully. Very important. We have one Ghana, we have one whole central, and we cannot afford. If you have not seen the outcome of wars, I have been in Liberia for 7 years, and I understand what it means. The outcome of war is terrible. We do not want that. Any political party that is singing war songs or chanting war chants, we in whole central condemn it. Nobody should use political platforms to determine the outcome of an election that we have not yet taken. You cannot have a stance on the fact that, okay, if I lose, then it means that I have been cheated. And in that case, it means you are only preparing for chaos.
Yeah.
Anybody can win the elections and anybody can lose the elections. I entreat all political parties, especially the two main political parties, the NDC and the NPP, to comport themselves, to conduct themselves well, and to advise their followers to make sure that they foment peace and not chaos. If you also have the opportunity to vote in whole central, do not miss the chance to vote for a young, dynamic, hardworking, and a forward-thinking leader in Maolom Kluche, who is number 4 on the parliamentary ballot. After December 7, we hope to be back in the studio to discuss the aftermath of the elections. And I hope that whole central becomes a beacon of hope for the Volta region, because this is the regional capital and it must do better than any other place in Ghana. Thank you.
Thank you very much. It's been a wonderful time having you here, and the fact that you are the first person to actually officially, open this studio since we did the remodeling. It's been good talking to you.
Yeah, it's
great.
I enjoyed myself. I wish we could go on because there are so many other topics that we haven't touched on.
Definitely.
But for the purpose of time, we can say this is enough for today.
Sure.
And hopefully we get another opportunity.
Always.
I'm always available.
Always, yeah.
In fact, even if I become MP, get me into the studio. Let's have this discussion, because this is how we keep our people informed.
Yeah.
And if we don't use the media platforms that are available to us, then we are not doing them any good. So I am always available, always ready to take an interview.
Good.
And I love what you are doing with the tourism industry. Giving us visibility, the videos, your photos.
Yeah.
They are captivating. And if you don't mind, I would like that you give me a print of one of these, because a print of it, I would like to keep that.
Okay.
And there was one other one on the screen. I think I need to select a couple of pictures.
Okay, so we'll arrange for those and then get some details to you.
Yes, I would love to have them. So thank you for having me.
It's been good. It's been
and
good.
It's been good having you as well.
Great. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
And then we wish you the very best in the elections on
Absolutely.
7th December.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.